You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Game, and it's suddenly now Twitter the Gaming Drag today. I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Lee's Path. Alright y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. They seem nice. They're good people, even if Vicky can be a pain in the ass. At least Alice can keep him in check. He knows she'll kick his ass if he fucks up too much. She was huge. I don't think I've ever met a girl as big as her. Don't tell her that. It makes it sound like you think she's fat. What? That's not what I mean. I know, kid. She will too. I'm just messing with you. Lee was making a joke? He was teasing me? Lee? The workplace environment must have really put him in a specific mood because he normally never acts like this. It reminds me of the friendly banter him and Charlie have. Speaking of, where's Charlie? I thought we were meeting up with her. She'll meet us along the way. There's a convenience store along the way. She'll be waiting there. Where are we going anyway? For some reason, that makes Lee hesitate, which is extra strange considering this has something to do with Helena. Why is that giving him pause? It doesn't last too long before he answers, but there's a crease in his brow that still hasn't disappeared. It's a shelter that Helena's friend, Mercedes, used to work at. According to her Twitzer, really? She used to go to volunteer there a lot after coming to Everwinter. Helena used to come with her too. Oh, so the owner probably knows him pretty well. And the people staying there, too. It's a shelter for kids who ran away from home. Kids who ran away from home? Yeah, sometimes kids run because of a shitty home life. Maybe their parents kicked them out, or they just need to get away. I spent a little time here. Charlie didn't have to, thankfully. She visited a lot, so she's familiar with it. She wanted to see how it was coming along and say hi to some other faces. Yeah, I'll just let you know, I'm recording this, I'm a little high, so... You stayed at a homeless shelter? I must have sounded a little too surprised because while he hides it well, he gives a small wince at my words that causes my heart to instantly sink. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I was just surprised. It's okay, kid. It's not something I'm embarrassed of. It wasn't for too long. Just until I could get on my feet. The owner's a great woman. She helped me get the apartment where I stay. She did? Yeah, she pulled a few strings and was able to find someone who'd be willing to take a chance on me despite my unique circumstances. It's hard to find someone willing to rent to you in a place like this without good security. That's amazing! She sounds like a great person if she's able to help you out. People must really love her if she has that much pull. She does. That's another reason why I thought coming here might be a good idea. She'll definitely know stuff about the Helena situation. And I don't visit her enough. I expected there to be a pained expression on his face, but all the hesitation he'd been wearing through the conversation has completely melted away to a fonder expression. He looks almost nostalgic. I'm about to ask more until he meets my eyes and nods ahead of us. Following where he's gesturing, I'm able to see a familiar face leaning against the side of a building sucking on a popsicle. Charlie's just watching the two of us, not making any effort to make up the ground between us. Instead, she just opts to stare at the two of us with the largest grin on her face that could put Oscar to shame. No wonder the two of them get along so well. Where'd you get the money for that? A smaller possum just rolls her eyes, pushing off the wall, not bothering to greet either of us beyond an acknowledging eyebrow raise in my direction. I won a bet. You won a bet? Oh yeah, one of the soccer guys on the boys' team bet that I couldn't outrun him. His loss. I hope you're not using your savings on betting. I put a lot of hours making sure you can save that money up. I suddenly feel very out of place in this conversation. Thankfully, it doesn't look particularly hostile. Neither of them look upset beyond Charlie's exasperated expression and perpetual eye-rolling. God, Mom, I'm not. I don't take bets I won't win. Everyone knows that. It's not risking anything if you know you're going to win, right? Why would anyone take the bet if they knew that you don't bet if you're not going to win? Simple. Ego. You know how guys are. They can't handle the idea that a girl is better at sports than them. Their tiny brains can't comprehend that maybe they'd lose to a girl. She emphasizes the end of the last sentence with a pretend gagging motion that makes Lee smile, even if it's clear he's trying his best to keep a stern face. He quickly gives it up though, and the both of them are laughing. You kick his butt? Obviously, he's not even that good. It's only because the soccer team didn't have much talent this year that he's even on it. The whole girls' team could kick their ass, but the coaches won't let us. Why not? That doesn't seem fair. This seemed like a good time to try and enter the conversation, and things have simmered down and I'm feeling a little left out. It works out because Charlie doesn't hesitate to bring me in. Because they know we'd beat their ass.
Language.
Oh, that's rich coming from you. Anyway, they're scared we'll beat them so bad it'll hurt their egos too much. Too bad for morale, apparently.
They told you that?
Well, our coach did. She's always real with us. The boys' coach would never admit it, but he knows it's true. No one expects them to do anything this year.
That's not good if any of them want to get a college's attention. Winterville's pretty serious about sports. They'll be replaced before long.
Great for us, though. Whenever the boys are doing better than us, suddenly it's all about them again, even if we're still doing good. We might get some scouts checking us out.
Don't forget about your grades. You won't be going anywhere if you're failing chemistry.
God, Mom, I'll be fine. Can we just get along? I want to go see if Juliet is still there.
It's been a long...
Don't care, didn't ask. Let's go! Without waiting for either of us to reply, she trots off in the direction I can only assume the shelter to be. Must be. Lee gives a huff before trudging after her, only looking back to make sure I follow. The rest of the walk was mostly filled by Charlie telling us about her day. I didn't even get a chance to interrupt, not that I'd want to. Her high school life was much more interesting than mine. Okay. I just in the library most days. The conversation often dipped back and forth from Lee scolding Charlie about her grades and congratulating her about her performance in soccer. It's a little jarring, but I can't say it's not charming to watch the two of them go. It reminded me of hanging out with Marcus back when I was younger. I knew as soon as my mind went there that it was a bad idea, but it's hard to not make the comparisons. I wonder if this is how we would have acted if he was still around when I was in high school. I doubt it. Marcus wasn't the type to scold me or try to make sure I was on the right track. He wasn't much of anything in those final years. It made everything so much worse. I wasn't even a teenager, just a self-absorbed kid who just put more and more stress on his back. Just thinking about that night when it was nearly enough to make me hurl, but I kept composed. But not composed enough that I didn't catch Lee throwing a concerned glance in my direction. I was just lucky Charlie kept going on and on. I can't deny it wasn't a good distraction until I got my mood back in place. The building was nothing like I had expected. When I heard of a shelter for people who had been kicked out, my brain expected something a little more rough, but everything looks well kept. It's on a decent chunk of land, and that not only has a front lawn, but also enough room for paths down both ends of the house, leading to a moderately expansive backyard. There's some kids playing around out back. A lot of them are a whole lot younger than I'd been expecting. Some of them look young enough to still be in elementary school. What are they doing here? The building itself was both tall and wide, easily making up 2 stories of what looks to be a sizable attic on the top. It would remind me of my house if the width wasn't really double. It looks like a mini mansion. Welcome to Amanda's Shelter for the young and in need. A home to some and a second home to one member of our misguided trio. Ain't that right, Ashley?
Don't call me that.
I thought it'd be appropriate for the little trip down memory lane. I haven't been here since middle school. You stayed here too? Lee said you didn't have to. I know I shouldn't be surprised since Lee supposedly stayed here, but the thought of someone as young as that having to stay in a place like this just doesn't make sense to me. Only some nights. When things were getting really bad between him and Dad, or when I was staying over at a friend's place, he'd come here and stayed. Lee didn't say anything, only focusing on the giant building ahead of us. It's clear that he's lost in whatever memories that Charlie's talking about. This place must be pretty significant to him. Eventually, Lee decided that he'd had enough with Dad's shit, and we took off into the night. He made a deal with one of my friend's parents so I could stay there until he slummed it here. I have no idea how long that was. I visited as much as I could.
3 years. It was 3 years.
You were here for that long? Lee walks forward and nods for us to follow him through the white gated fence that surrounded the property and separated it from the outside world. He continues the story as we approach the large door, the few teenagers around scattering the moment they catch sight of the intimidating possum. Oh god, I think I got a few more minutes left in me, y'all. It's really hitting me now. I've been working for 2 years at that point, was only a few years away from turning 18, but I knew it wasn't going to be able to support us. I had to make a choice, and I knew there were safer options for us to stay. So you two just ran away? Didn't your dad call the cops or try to find you? The moment the words left my lips, I could feel the mood between the siblings drop. Even Charlie, who's normally always got something to say, is noticeably quiet. Lee isn't even looking at me. For a few seconds, the only sounds were the laughter of distant children as they played behind the building. Eventually, he gives an answer as he grabs a hold of the door handle, not giving me even a glance as the single word leaves its lips. No. He shoves the door open, giving me no time to process or respond to that information in any way. The three of us funnel in one after another, the two of them eager to leave this topic behind. I'll have to respect that. Whoa! The interior of the house is just as grand as the outside. In front of the door is a large stairwell that leads to the second floor. God, I want a house like that one day. Much darker interior, though. It's a little too blinding. Luscious carpet covers the floor, and there's plenty of shelves holding what looks to be expensive decorations ranging from vases to fine china. Despite their beauty, their age is the most catching part about them. The vase looks worn with time, and the fine china, even if it's in immaculate condition within its case, still shows signs of age. While they might have been worth a lot at one point, their value has surely dropped with time. Everything feels extravagant but lacking in prosperity, living in the remnants of wealth. It's like the entire house has a history of its own. The wall adjacent to it is covered in photos, many of which seem to feature the same Ursine family. They all share brown fur with a distinct patch of white fur on their faces, making them look like they just dove their muzzles into snow. There's so many different photos that look to range back to generations ago. Some of them aren't even in color. Must be a family tradition. Do these belong to whoever runs the shelter? Lee and Charlie walk up behind me to admire the dozens of frames littering the walls. Just the sight of these looks to improve their mood from what just happened outside. Yeah, these belong to Miss Corrine. Apparently this house has been passed down for generations. She's fixed and expanded it to try and fit more people in here. She can afford that? I'm pretty sure she's rich or some kind of trust fund baby, but she uses it to help out those in need, so I guess she's one of the good ones. Charlotte? Lee doesn't hesitate to turn towards his sister, and the sheer disapproval oozing off of him at her words would be enough to melt me on the spot. Charlie just rolls her eyes at him. What? I love Miss Corrine. She's great. I'm just saying that there's a lot of rich people no one would miss. You can't just... Oh, please, you were way worse in high school. I remember you almost got an anarchy tattoo if one of your teachers didn't threaten to get you expelled. You used to be based. Lee is left gobsmacked, only able to stare stunned at his sister. She just gives him a dismissive shrug and turns her attention back to the gallery of photos. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Alright, I am super high right now, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!